See, it's a very tough situation to be in, and there is not a simple or a single answer to this. If you want to ask by theory, certainly the chances of Pakistan defaulting are there, they exist. But practically, what happens is that generally the debt that Pakistan owes to the international community, whether it is bilateral, whether it is government to government, or taken from multilateral agencies, plus the debt that has been taken from the public markets. What we assume is that bilateral and multilateral debts, they can be rolled over, and the problem would then be towards the debt that has been taken from the capital markets. Now, when we talk of the capital market debt, the quantum is very low. It is less than 10% of the overall debt obligation of Pakistan. And if the government focuses on this particular fact that the capital market debt that's paid down timely, because you need to have the investors' confidence in place. If that happens, then you need to have a strategy around how you will ensure that maybe about $30 to $36 billion worth of payments they are due, whether towards the bilateral, whether towards the multilateral, or whether to any other form of lender over the next 12 to 18 months. Then the government will have to chalk out a map on how they are going to convince, most importantly, the International Monetary Fund. Because at this point in time, what I see that the challenges for the country are getting grave by every passing day. This entire political fiasco, whatever has happened, and this, the change of guards in April, and then anticipating whether the elections will take place or not, what it does is it does damage the goodwill of the country, in the sense that people do not see consistency of policies, and people do not want, or the lenders per se, they do not want to engage with the government on such a footing where they do not know whether they would be holding on to power for the next 5 years, or who would be the in charge, let's say 5 to 10 months down the road. So this clarity is absolutely essential, and it needs to come ASAP. Unless and until this clarity would come, I do not see that Pakistan's government would be in a better situation to negotiate. Having said this, I think the roadmap involves that how Pakistan needs to bring in dollars into the country, and how to reduce the gap that exists between exports and imports. Currently, because of the situation of the dollar, that currently the official rate is about 225 or 226, but in the open market, you cannot purchase dollars at less than 260. It has a double jeopardy for the economy of Pakistan. Number one, that the payments that Pakistan has to make, even if they are going at the official rates, but the incoming inflow, specifically coming in from remittances, it's following the grey channel because of the gap that exists between the official rate and the rate that exists in the market. So what it does is that it will reduce your remittance by a certain portion, and if you're trying to control imports, then unfortunately that situation would be counterbalanced by lesser remittances being received. So hence the complication will persist. So in my view, if they have to go, and the discussion with IMF, obviously the 9th review has been delayed, and it will be now taken up somewhere in February. Pakistan will face challenges because it will have to think about what to do in terms of PDL. They will have to think in terms of the sales tax that has to be imposed, and Pakistan will have to pass on the energy subsidies to the consumer, which means more inflation, which means that the interest rates would again see a spike. I do not believe that IMF will enter into any negotiation with the government unless and until the rates, as far as the central bank is concerned and what is available in the open market, that are brought at par. So this is the challenge that we face in today's day and date.